Authorities in a Chinese city urged residents not to hoard food but have failed to provide people with enough supplies, forcing some to beg each other for leftovers. According to Timed News, the COVID-19 pandemic has recently reemerged in Guiyang City, Guizhou Province. The outbreak concentrated in Huaxi District, Nanming District, and other places. On September 8th, Guiyang City decided to operate on a closed-loop system for a week to avoid the spread of the virus. Like many other places in China, Guiyang does not want to use the term lockdown, though it officially imposes that measure on the residents. Instead, they use terms such as strict management or silent management. Although many residents have listened to the local government's reminder not to hoard food, they are facing food shortages now that the pandemic is out of control. They can't buy food. Photos and messages from Weibo show that many residents of Huaguoyuan community in Nanming District revealed that some people did not have vegetables to eat for 3 days. They have no way to ask the government for help, but can only ask their neighbors for leftovers. At the same time, they criticize the authorities for not hearing the voices of the people. Some complain that residents are still begging for food in a country where the pandemic has entered its 3rd year. A resident named Mr. Lee said that the authorities are running a closed-loop management and the lockdown period is estimated not to be short. Lee said that now everyone is allowed to, and the residents live in fear of food shortage. He heard that some communities deliver vegetable packs at a price of 90 yuan, $13 each. The price is unfair and the quality is poor, people complained. One netizen also revealed that an elder man in the Huaguoyuan community has run out of food for 3 days, while a 20-year-old woman cried of hunger.
According to a report from Daji Yuan, China, on April 8, 2022, Mu Jiangang, a teacher at Lanzhou University, suffered a sudden heart attack. The hospital found that his heart had been infarcted in a large area, and he needed a heart transplant. On May 6th, Mu Jiangang was transferred to Wuhan Union Hospital, China's top organ transplant hospital. At the same time, he was placed on the waiting list for a heart transplant. Mu Jiangang got a suitable donor heart 4 days later and completed the transplant. Not only is the short waiting time unusual, but a patient can obtain multiple organ sources simultaneously. On June 12, 2020, a 24-year-old female patient, Sun Lingling, was admitted to Wuhan Union Hospital, the same hospital as the patient mentioned above. Within 13 days, the hospital found 4 suitable heart sources she could choose. The first heart was delivered to the hospital on June 16th, but the doctor in charge of the operation believed that the heart's coronary artery was in poor condition. Therefore, this heart was abandoned later. The second heart was ready on June 19th, but the patient Sun Lingling had a fever, and her physical condition was unsuitable for a heart transplant that day. The second was abandoned. On June 25th, there were 2 suitable hearts to choose from simultaneously. At that time, Sun Lingling's condition improved significantly. The surgeon finally decided on a 33-year-old man's heart. The other heart belonged to a local woman. It was given up because the doctor worried it wasn't strong enough. The official CCP media first reported the above 2 cases. The 2 patients were using their real names and identities. As of the last day of August, 83 senior CCP medical officials have been fired since the beginning of 2022. These people have different roles and positions, including medical management units, clinical hospitals at the grassroots level, and local supervision departments. These include Committee Brain Defense Director Qiao Baohua, former Dean of the First Hospital of Shanghai Medical University Wang Binquan, Director of the Beijing Food and Drug Administration Zhang Jiquang, and former Dean of the First Affiliated Hospital of Harbin Medical University Zhou Jin, and so on. An analytical article in the Cambridge Quarterly Journal of Medical Ethics, published by Cambridge University Press on July 28th this year, stated that China had violated the criteria for determining brain death. The article, Cases of Abuse of the Definition of Brain Death in Organ Procurement in China, reviewed some official Chinese publications describing organ harvesting methods. It concluded that some organ donors did not have brain or heart death when their organs were removed. The article said, these heart-beating donors are not organ donors who have a beating heart, but are brain dead. It also wrote, in these cases, the donor organs are most likely obtained from living people and donors killed by medical professionals through organ transplants. The waiting period for a heart transplant is 180 days to several years in the United States, while in China, the waiting time is only a few weeks or even a few days to complete the organ pairing and to enter the surgical stage. During Jiang Zemin's reign, the Falun Gong group was systematically persecuted. The black organ transplantation chain or the so-called transplanting tourism industry, expanded globally. The CCP's medical system directly participated in and executed live organ harvesting. The Falun Gong group alleged that Falun Gong practitioners detained in China were the primary victims. By 2012, after the current leader of the Communist Party of China, Xi Jinping, came to power, fierce infighting broke out with Jiang Zemin's faction. The medical system controlled by the Jiang faction has continued to fall in recent years.
What topics will be mainly discussed at this year's SCO summit?
This year's summit will issue the Samarkand Declaration, which will be a comprehensive political declaration on the SCO's position on international politics, economy, and a range of other aspects. In 2007, the SCO issued a very important document, namely the Treaty on Long-Term Good Neighborliness, Friendship and Cooperation, which has an implementation plan every 5 years. And this year, the summit will discuss the formulation of the plan for 2023 to 2027. The participants will also discuss climate change and the security of supply chains, energy and food.
What can you tell us about the organization's expansion plans?
The Memorandum of Understanding on Iran's accession to the SCO will be discussed at this summit. Belarus has also formally submitted an application for full membership. There's a saying here that there is a long queue outside the door of the SCO, and I think this metaphor is not exaggerated. Why is this happening? I think given the profound global changes that we're witnessing, members of the international community are expecting a new type of international relations based on mutual respect, equality, and mutual benefit, which are the essence of the SCO Charter and Shanghai spirit.
What's your take on the contributions that China has made to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization?
Over the past 21 years, China has made important contributions to the SCO's values and has also proposed a series of constructive cooperation initiatives, such as the Belt and Road Initiative. In terms of poverty reduction, China has eliminated absolute poverty, at least 10 years ahead of the UN 2030 Sustainable Development Goal, an accomplishment that's been hailed by the international community. Uzbekistan, which hosts the SCO rotating presidency, has established a working mechanism for poverty reduction, a goal that has also become part of the SCO working process. In case of COVID-19, China has provided vaccines and anti-epidemic materials to SCO members. As an important country in the SCO region and a founding member of the organization, China plays an important role in the development of the SCO, and I believe it will make more important contributions in the future.
Under the framework of SCO, how does the Belt and Road Initiative and its interface work so far?
The highlight of the Belt and Road Initiative is interconnectivity, which means cooperation and multilateralism. It ties in closely with the purpose of SCO, and the member states have implemented the initiative since it was first introduced, leading to growth in trade, smooth freight and logistics, more transport capacity, and a boost in cultural exchanges and tourism development. So all members...
The CCP has banned any questions and resistance to its dynamic zero-COVID policy. A few days ago, mainland China company Huatai Securities released a report saying that the new version of COVID-19 has a lower death rate than the flu. The report was quickly censored. The report. Huatai Securities is listed in Shanghai, Hong Kong, and London. On Wednesday, September 7th, Huatai released a mind-blowing report. The report mostly talks about how the new version of COVID may have killed fewer people than the flu. It also talks about how many places in the Asia-Pacific region are relaxing their COVID measures. The report compiles data from Hong Kong, South Korea, Singapore, Japan, Vietnam, Indonesia, Australia, and other places in Asia. It shows that the new strain Omicron BA.5 has raised the number of cases in the Asia-Pacific region one more time. However, the number of severe cases and deaths has instead gone way down. Notably, the rate is already lower than the base case for the number of people who die from influenza, and the decline in the intensity of the virus may be a determined trend. The report also said that because many people with mild symptoms didn't report them, the death rate in reality might be much lower than in the report. This means that the actual death rate may be lower than the estimated number reported. The report also said that based on how the pandemic fared in July and August, Omicron BA.5 spreading overseas did not surpass the original strain. As the destructive power of the new virus strains has gone down, COVID measures in different parts of Asia have become less strict. The The report was taken down and censored less than 24 hours after it was published. Much of the reprints on mainland websites are also taken down, and Google snapshots of many web pages were no longer available. Some internet users said Huaitai Securities was very brave and wondered if the company and the two researchers, Yi Zhang and Zhu Zun, who wrote the report, would be punished. China's strict zero COVID receives concern. New variants of COVID have dropped in terms of their severity and mortality. As a result, many have questioned China's continual strict zero COVID policy, and many pitiful scenarios have sprung up during its strict COVID measures. In this video, heart-piercing cries of the children could be heard from a quarantine cabin. Under China's harsh measures, many were forced into these cabins without really getting COVID or being in close contact with those who had it. In this video, a line of earthquake relief workers are waiting to take the COVID tests. The person who posted this video on Twitter commented that this is the first time these earthquake relief workers arrived and were there to save people, but to do nucleic acid tests. He said in this case, human life is no longer important, and the only criterion for good and evil is whether you listen to the party.
130-й ВАТ передає привіт всьому народу України. Наше завдання. Слава Україні! Героям слава!
乌克兰军方11日对外公布，在乌国东北部哈尔科夫州地区，成功从俄军手中夺回超过3000平方公里的土地，收复至少30个城镇和村庄。有民众释出影片，乌克兰武装部队受到当地人民与村长的热情欢迎，与军人共同举起乌克兰国旗。路透社报道，这是今年3月，俄军被迫从乌国首都基辅撤退以来，莫斯科最惨重的失败。
Сьогодні 200 днів нашого спротиву, нашої боротьби, нашої вітчизняної війни за волю, за незалежність, за право бути. У ці 200 днів нам чимало вдалося, але найважливіше, а тому найважче попереду. І це звернення я хочу присвятити саме тим, хто попереду, і кому зараз найважче, бо вони роблять найважливіше. Це всі захисники і захисниці України.
美国智库战争研究所与企业研究所的追踪地图显示，8月31日到9月11日这段期间，乌克兰军队几乎将所有俄军赶出了哈尔科夫州。不过，就在乌军收复大片失土之际，乌克兰总统泽伦斯基指出，俄军开始蓄意破坏民生基础设施，为了使平民没有照明和暖气可用。哈尔科夫一家火力发电厂在11日晚上遭到飞弹袭击，引起大火，导致1名电厂工作人员丧命，多地区停电。莫斯科时报报道，俄军前线惨败后，俄罗斯总统普丁推迟了原定与国防部高层在黑海度假胜地索契的会议。原本俄国要在占领区推动的兼并公投也被推迟搁置。新唐两台电视胡宗汉、张瑞珍综合报道。